Hey guys, good morning. Oh goodness, my hair looks really bad in this video. So I just wanted to come on and show you how to use the DIY clock kits that I sell. We do have 7 different kits available, and I will show you my samples in a minute. I finally got my phone to stay straight so you can see me and the table. So let me show you how to put the kits together. The kit I'm going to do is the Purim kit, because that's the next holiday. I'm very excited. I'm going to try to make my own hamantashen this year. Okay, so the first thing you do is, so in the Purim kit, it comes with your clock parts and numbers, a base for hamantashen, and a grogger for the center. So a lot of the wood pieces have tape or paper on the back for their protection. You want to make sure you remove that before you glue anything down to keep them secure. But I like to keep the paper on while I'm painting and decorating. So I've painted everything before I came on, so we didn't have to sit around and watch paint dry. The easiest way to assemble these clocks is, again, paint everything first. I like using spray paints, acrylic paint pens. You can use Sharpies, regular paint, watercolor, acrylic paints, anything you can think of. So the easiest way to assemble the clock, though, is after it's painted, put the clock movement in first, so it's easier to line up the numbers. So you have the clock movement and the bracket to hang it to the wall. So the bracket gets attached like this, so the hook is on top, and the place for the battery goes on the bottom. And that just gets pushed through the movement like so. In this case right now, it doesn't matter which way you're facing it, but you want to make sure you know which way it's facing so you know where 12 is. In the Purim kit, you have a grogger that goes in the middle. So add that first. And then you're going to put the washer on. I like to add a little glue to the back of these just for extra security. Again, make sure there's no tape or paper on the back of your wood pieces. I am a big fan of E6000 glue. It's super strong. It does take 24 hours to fully dry. So what you can do is add a little hot glue, or in this case, I'm going to use a little super glue. Just a couple of drops to help it stay in place. Again, any strong glue will work. Mod Podge, hot glue, super glue, anything of your choosing. So I have my grogger in place, and then I'm going to take the washer, it's a little washer, and spin it down the shaft of the movement, hand tight. And then you can just hand tighten it. However, I personally recommend using a wrench. This is an 11mm wrench, just to really make sure it is completely secure. So let's just tighten that. All right, and once the movement is on tight, again, just make sure your if your back moved, you want to then just adjust everything so you're facing the right way. All right. So I have my bracket facing up, and it's the same direction as my grogger. Now, I like to put the hands on the clock before I glue the numbers down. This way I'm making sure everything is in the right place. Your kit should have a minute hand, a second hand, and an hour hand. The hour hand is the smallest, and it goes on first. You want to be careful with these. The hands are very delicate and they bend easily. but it needs to be on there snug. Then the second hand, and they should just pop right on. Oh, I'm sorry. First the hour hand, then the minute hand, and lastly the second hand. And when I'm assembling these kits, I like to set the clock to 3 o'clock with the second hand pointing 9, like this. It gives me the best map or guide for when I'm gluing down my numbers. All right, so you should have 4 Hamantaschen shapes. And again, double check to make sure there's no tape or paper on the back. And the Hamantaschen get placed at 3, 6, 9, and 12. So I'm just going to arrange these nicely. It's always good to place everything down again before you glue. This way you can move things around to your liking. Once it's glued, it becomes a little more difficult. If you move it, even though the glue doesn't dry right away, you could end up with like glue smudges. And then you have numbers. All of the numbers have a little, they're a little sticky on the back. So I'm going to leave the paper on right until the end. So I don't need to, that'll give me my extra protection instead of the super glue. So I'm just going to add my numbers. 4, 5, 7, 8. All right, so after you have everything laid out, you can just adjust things until you have items where you think they look best. And then you just start gluing. So for the Hamantaschen shapes, I'm going to use again the E6000 glue. Give it a nice little coating. And for these, I'm going to add a drop or 2 of super glue, just for added security while it dries. And I'm going to do all my Hamantaschen first. I did different flavors when I colored in my Hamantaschen. I think I have a blueberry, grape, or blueberry and apricot, a chocolate, and a raspberry. What are some of your favorite Hamantaschen? I was looking at recipes and to get ready for Purim, because I always get ready months in advance for things. And some of them are savory Hamantaschen, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's a dessert. It shouldn't be like savory. Like I saw like a spinach and cheese one. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, so now that my Hamantaschen are glued in place, I'm going to go ahead and glue my numbers. Again, because these have a sticky background backing already, I'm not going to add the super glue. I'm just going to put a little dollop of the E6000 on it. And this is really strong glue, so if you're doing this project with kids, I recommend supervision, maybe gloves if you want to keep their hands cleaner. But most art projects do get you a little messy. Just a few more numbers. After we glue all the numbers, I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours. And then I will put a AA battery in the clock movement. And it's set to go. Again, we do have 7 different DIY clock kits. 3 just everyday Judaica. And 4 holiday themed. I will show you all my samples in a couple minutes once I finish gluing these. The samples are for sale if you wanted to purchase one already done, but I personally think the fun part is doing it yourself. these are great projects for family events, you know, to get your kids involved, to just spend, you know, time on a rainy day for yourself. I don't have kids. I'm a grown-up, and I love doing, you know, craft projects like this. It's really great, you know, like, it clears your mind. It gives you something to focus on when you're, you know, stressed, art therapy, things like that. And again, they're fun, and it's something that you can display. You can always use a new clock. All right, just give me 1 second, and I'm almost done gluing this. Two more numbers.
What you doing?
Give me 1 second. Hi, I'm on live Facebook right now.
Oh.
I have a visitor down in my shop. All right, so we're almost done here. All right, so all of the numbers have been glued. And again, I'm just gonna let this dry for 24 hours, and then I will put a battery in it and hang it up. So let me show you quickly the samples that I have. I'm gonna turn this around. All right, so this is the Purim clock all done that we just did together. It needs to dry. I'm not sure why they're so yellow in this video, but I think that's just the coloring of my phone. We have Rosh Hashanah. The 4 items you get are a shofar, an apple, a pot of honey, and a pomegranate. Then we have Passover. You'll get a Moses for the middle and 4 Kiddush cups, along with the numbers and the clock movement. And we have Chanukah that gets you 4 dreidels. These are the 3 everyday Judaica ones. This one has a Jewish star. We have some symbols, a menorah, a chamza, the tree of life, and a dove. And lastly, Israeli pride, which gives you the shape of Israel for the 12 o'clock. All of the clock kits are listed on my website for sale. And again, the sample clocks are available as well. Also some DIY kits. We have these frame projects. There's 4 in the series. This is the Seder plate one. And there is a video I've posted showing that. And not so DIY, but just some Passover items that I do have listed on my shop are resin Seder plates. I have about 5 of them for sale right now. They are resin. They feature dried flowers in the decoration. And you do get food grade silicone cups to go with them. So you can actually, you know, put the food in them and keep the food safe. I think that's everything that I have for this morning. I hope you guys have a great week and enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, definitely message me, and I will see you guys soon. Have a great Sunday.